Hello and welcome to the Week in Review, a recap of your weekly headlines on the Western Slope. I'm Chad Roderick. In our first story, we learned the identities this week of the two young men killed in a Halloween night shooting in Clifton. As far as we know, no arrests have been made in what the Mesa County Sheriff's Office is calling a double homicide. Marge Tobin has the latest.
It was just before midnight on October 31st when Mesa County deputies responded to multiple 911 calls reporting gunfire on the 400 block of Cottonwood Lake Drive. When they arrived, deputies found two victims with serious gunshot wounds. Life-saving efforts were made before both rushed to the hospital, but just after 12:50 a.m., both were pronounced dead. On November 3rd, the Mesa County Coroner's Office identified the victims as 18-year-old Victor Reyes Jr. and 20-year-old Josiah Rosales, both from Grand Junction. The coroner determined each died from multiple gunshot wounds and ruled the manner of death homicide. Deputies believed the shooting stemmed from an incident at a house party at the home that night. Many of the people involved are juveniles, which limits what investigators can release. Investigators are still asking for the public's help. Anyone with video or information is urged to contact investigator Pete Berg or submit tips anonymously through Crime Stoppers. The investigation remains ongoing, and the sheriff's office promises updates as more information becomes available. Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
And there is a video that has been making headlines out of Delta County involving Sheriff Mark Taylor and his nephew, a former sheriff's deputy. Community members are asking if it is in relation to Taylor stepping down as of January. Kyle Kawamoto explains the details we have so far.
On September 15th, there was an altercation between Delta County Sheriff Mark Taylor and his nephew, Kenny, a former sheriff's deputy at Sheriff Taylor's home. Video taken at the scene shows the sheriff and Kenny getting into a fight for about a minute. The two involved in the altercation were scuffling on the ground. In a statement from Mark Taylor, he says, quote, "The video that I have seen circulating is incomplete and fails to show the initial interaction where this family member aggressively advanced toward me in a threatening manner. I pushed him back twice in an attempt to put space between us. And the third time he came at me, I felt a violent attack was imminent. I defended myself as a reasonable person being threatened that has the right to do." In Taylor's statement, he describes a moment where his wife called 911 and requested for law enforcement. Sheriff Taylor stated, "Based on my years of law enforcement experience, I determined that if deputies arrived at this situation, it would likely escalate even more. Because of this, and a desire to keep this a family matter, I requested the dispatcher to stand down law enforcement response." We reached out to the Delta County Commissioners for comment on the matter, and they responded with, quote, "Delta County Commissioners have been briefed on a private family matter involving Sheriff Taylor, and separately, an unrelated personnel issue within dispatch. We understand the Sheriff's Office will share additional information when appropriate. We have confidence in Sheriff Taylor's leadership and fully support the men and women of the Sheriff's Office and the detention center. Because these involve private and personal matters, we will not comment further," end quote. Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
Sheriff Taylor also commented on the matter, saying this matter is personal and unfortunate and does not involve the Delta County Sheriff's Office or my position as Delta County Sheriff. We move on, and this week we saw Election Day come and go. Mesa County officials are reporting just over 44% of active voters cast their ballots and turnout above the national average for local races. Marge Tobin has more on what this means for the county.
More than 44% of registered voters cast their ballots on Tuesday, which is higher than the national average for local elections. Mesa County saw more than 52,000 ballots cast out of just over 118,000 eligible voters. While that's a drop from turnout in previous elections, it's still well above the national average, where less than one-third of voters typically show up for local contests.
Looking back at historical coordinated elections, it's actually trended down just a slight trend down. Is we looked back at 2021 coordinated, it was around a 48%. In 2023, we were around a 45%. So just a slight tick down, actually, of our ballots returned.
Gross says while participation dipped slightly, every vote matters, and the process isn't over yet.
We have 8 days after an election for people to cure their signatures. So if their signatures didn't match, we'll send them a a letter notifying them. So they have 8 days to cure that signature discrepancy. Also, our military and overseas have 8 days after the election for us to receive their ballot. They have to have it postmarked by election day, but we have 8 days after the election to receive it.
Gross says her team worked until about 1 in the morning processing ballots, and she's thanked the community for its support.
We have an amazing team, and we appreciate the community's support. They came out and brought us treats and gave us words of encouragement, so that was really important to our election judges and our team.
Election officials expect to certify results after that 8-day period and audit. Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
Now that you, the voters, have had your say, our local candidates are dealing with a variety of emotions, including mixed feelings from one of the unofficial victors. Kyle Kawamoto spoke with 2 candidates in the D51 school board races who are poised to win.
The race for the Board of Education looks to conclude as the candidates are reaching the finish line. For District C, you have incumbent Andrea Heights, which appears to be taking the seat on the board with a 52.9% advantage over her challenger, Mike Rathbone. Then in District D, newcomer Casey Cole appears poised to win over incumbent Will Jones by an 8% margin. Lastly, for the District E seat, challenger Vicky Woods looks to claim the seat over incumbent Angela Lima. And when I asked both Heights and Cole on their reaction for their victories,
I have some mixed emotions today, to be quite honest. I'm thankful, that I can continue to finish out some work, for the next 4 years, but I'm disappointed, in the loss of my 2 teammates.
Just extreme gratitude and excitement for the future to see what's going to happen next.
Heights emphasizes the need for a strategic plan for the district, along with uniting board members around a common vision. Key goals are maintaining school performance, improving academic outcomes, addressing absenteeism, and collaborating with community partners while allowing board members to pursue personal interests.
It's a success for our kids, from elementary school age, which is, the reading and math, that our kids need to succeed.
Cole hopes to begin her role as a board member by organizing a detailed school tour with all of the board members, teachers, and students to foster engagement. She aims to investigate classroom sizes and safety policies, seeking updates to share with the public, and plans to look into the budget to gain a better understanding of its details.
I did spend some time with the CFO a little while ago, and I feel like I have a solid understanding of the grand scheme of things within our budget.
Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
And there was a meeting at Central High School this week to talk about the school remodel and, more importantly, the new boundaries that will be proposed for the new school year in the fall of 2026. Kyle Kawamoto has the details.
The other thing this does, so these existing buildings are at different elevations.
Change is on the way for students in D51. The district will be looking to change the school boundaries for Grand Junction High School and Central High. The map you see on your screen shows 4 areas pertaining to a possible change that will be made starting in the fall of 2026. According to school officials, there are about 1,900 students at GJHS, and there is a significantly lower amount of student enrollment at Central.
I think getting closer to an equal number of students between the 2 high schools, I think, is important. Right now we have, like I said, over 1,900 students in Grand Junction, and they could use a little breathing room.
Garcia says for grandfathered families in targeted areas with 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students can send them to Grand Junction High School if they have a sibling already attending. There will be a bus service for 1 year, but families must arrange transportation afterwards. When the time gets closer, school officials tell me there will be communication with the community.
I think that students and families know that we're making these changes to prepare for the following year. When these changes take effect, we want families to be informed and know what's happening in the school district.
Garcia says with the new renovations on the way, there will be a positive move for students to come and fill the seats at Central High School. I was able to speak with one Grand Junction student who tells me the change is moving in a positive direction.
I really wanted them to change the boundaries so I could go to Central instead of Junction, because really more of my friends are over at Central.
Change is difficult, change is hard, and we realize that. But we also know that change is necessary, as I mentioned earlier, to equalize out our student population.
Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
And we have an update from local food banks that are facing uncertainty over SNAP benefits during the government shutdown. The Trump administration initially announced it will partially fund SNAP following 2 court rulings late last week. Marge Tobin has more.
SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, serves about 1 in 8 Americans. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says it will provide each household half of its usual funding amount for the month of November.
So yes, it sounds wonderful, but to a client that doesn't have SNAP benefits at this point, it still means not much. It means that they have a huge food insecurity.
Food bank staff say the uncertainty around SNAP is causing anxiety and more people are seeking help.
We may not have a lot of information about when and how much these things are going to happen, but what we do know is that there is still going to be a period of time, especially leading up to Thanksgiving, where individuals won't have access to those benefits.
Both food banks say they've seen an increase in demand and are anticipating a bigger Thanksgiving season ahead.
The numbers are very much increasing. We've had anywhere from 100 new households a week, which we usually only have about 100 new households a month. And so we've had quite a bit increase the last 2 weeks since this has been going on. We expect a huge increase the next few weeks and into December.
Henning says they are seeing record numbers, with our community experiencing the highest level of hunger the food bank has seen in 10 years.
We have seen a huge increase in the Find Food button on our website, where people can find food based on their zip code. That's gone up about 50% in usage just over the last couple of weeks.
Food banks are preparing for the weeks ahead, when delays in SNAP payments could keep pantries busy into the new year. Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
In more government shutdown news, the FAA and U.S. Department of Transportation announced a reduction in flight capacity at major airports due to staffing pressures. What does this mean for travelers on the Western Slope? Marge Tobin has the answer.
During a news conference Wednesday, FAA Administrator Brian Bedford and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said flights at the nation's 40 largest airports will be cut by 10% to reduce the risk profile in the national airspace.
Let's hope I make it home.
As a traveler, it's very inconvenient for me, but if you're not paying people right, I completely understand. If I'm not getting paid right for my services, I wouldn't work either.
Here in Grand Junction, airport officials say the local impact should be minimal. Still, local travel agencies and passengers are keeping a close eye on how this could affect connecting flights and holiday travel.
Grand Junction is not one of the 40 largest airports in the country, so we do not expect to be directly impacted. But obviously, anytime there's close-in changes to airline schedules, it can have a bit of a ripple effect. So it's really important that passengers stay connected to the airlines that they're flying through if they have flight plans in the next few days.
At local travel agency First Class Travel, phones have been ringing with clients who are worried about their travel plans.
And the ones that don't have as many passengers are probably the ones they're going to cut, so that they can move those passengers to other flights. You'll have two options. You're either going to be moved to another flight and you can accept it to get on the other flight, or you can get a refund. So I know that's not going to be ideal if you're trying to get somewhere on Thanksgiving, but you're not out the money. They will make sure that you're taken care of.
And as travelers look ahead to the holiday season, AAA says flexibility is key.
AAA is advising travelers to be engaged and informed. As we look ahead to Thanksgiving and the year-end holidays, it remains a dynamic situation. The best advice is to stay informed, but even more important than that, stay flexible and know that the situation changes on a day-to-day basis.
Airport officials here in Grand Junction say operations remain normal for now. Still, they're urging patience and kindness for TSA workers who continue to show up despite the shutdown. Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
And leaders from around the town of Palisade in Mesa County spent some time Thursday morning talking about the state of Palisade. Jeff Hinkle was there and has more.
From education to local politics, national to county-wide issues, members of the community got to hear from leaders about how the city of Palisade is doing. The overall consensus: they're doing just peachy.
The state of Palisade is better than ever right now. We have a really diverse economy. We have several things that are factoring into our agritourism economy. It's broader than it used to be. It's not just peaches. It's not just wine. It's not just the other things that we export. It's all of those things working together, and it's being managed really well right now.
Mayor Pro Tem Somerville urged people to be more active on the local level, saying that sometimes at their meetings they have time for public comment and there will be only one comment. He says it will help them better understand what's going on within the community.
We want to know what a lot of people think. We don't want a small sample size. We don't want to go off of anecdotal data. We want to know what the collective people think. So the more voices, the better the data.
One specific thing that town manager Janet Hawkinson brought up was creating an Upper Valley Fire District, in part to help with cost sharing.
Fire departments are very expensive to run. Town of Palisade is 2,500 residents that pay the sales tax and property tax. To operate a full-time 24-hour, 365-day fire department is very expensive. We are, on this east side of the valley, the only full-time professional fire department. Surrounding us are all volunteer fire departments, and the idea is to get a combination of Palisade Rural, East Orchard Mesa, Central, Whitewater, which is now Mesa Fire, to all come together and create one larger fire district.
Jeff Hinkle, Fox 4 News.
And administrators of School District 51 held their annual State of the District luncheon at CMU. Rin Lewis has more on what happened.
This was our third annual Strong Schools, Strong Community luncheon.
District 51 held its annual State of the District luncheon on Monday to update the community on how the district is doing.
This year, we were able to have 100% of our schools at the top 2 academic levels in the state, which is a first for our district. We had the highest graduation rate we've ever had in the history of the district. And then we had the highest number of students taking concurrent enrollment credits this past year as well.
Superintendent Dr. Brian Hill says a big aspect of their success is their partnership with Colorado Mesa University.
We actually have a strong partnership with CMU and CMU Tech. We can offer the coursework that our students need. It's a unique partnership that you're not seeing in other places across the state.
Hill says the luncheon is a chance for the district to keep community partners in the loop.
This is just one more opportunity to bring together community leaders, business leaders within our community to be able to share the successes, but also the struggles and the challenges we have as a school district. A lot to celebrate as a school district, and today was an opportunity to do that.
Ren Lewis, Fox 4 News.
All right, that does it for the Week in Review. I'm Chad Roderick. Tune back in every week for a summation of your weekly headlines.